Yo, what is going on, Cover One crew? Welcome back to the show. Everybody is awesome, man. We're continuing with this fantasy football prep, and it is draft guy time. Derrick Henry. Derrick King Henry now has got new digs with these Baltimore Ravens. How is it going to shake down? Career Tennessee Titan now with these Baltimore Ravens, and it is exciting because I'm telling y'all they haven't had a running back like this since the likes of somebody like a Jamal Lewis who can absolutely take over, even though they have flirted with other running backs like Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins. I mean, the list goes on and on. Willis McGahee back in the day. I think this is probably one of the best things for a Lamar Jackson, no question. I think that Derrick Henry is going to fit in like a glove in this offense. But when we're talking statistically speaking, for a Derrick Henry, he has been the staple of consistency for us throughout his entire NFL career, outside of, or the early on days where he did deal with some injuries. But we're talking 2023 was his worst season, in outside of injury in 2021. It was his worst campaign, playing the 17 games, only had 280 attempts. I mean, I say only because that's a little bit lesser than what we see usually what Henry does get. But I mean, creeping up to that age 30, you had to understand this is why they didn't want to continue down this path, paying Derrick Henry, the money in Tennessee, kind of a retooling over there. But Baltimore definitely is on the cusp of making it to the Super Bowl, trying to be that team, and getting a guy like Derrick Henry can absolutely uplift this club to those levels. He was a running back 8 last year, over 1,100 yards, 1,160 yards, 12 TDs. So it was not a dreadful season for Henry. It's just not what we're used to. 1,500 yards a season before that. The injury season, just he didn't crack the 1,000, and then the 2,000-yard season back 4 years ago in 2020, where he did rank running back 8 last year, running back 4 in 2022, running back 16 in 2021, and then the running back 2 in 2020 with that 2,000 yards. He only lost out on the PPR upside. Otherwise, he would have been the running back 1. The best part of a Derrick Henry at this point is the consistency in the booms, baby. It is. I'm sorry, I probably blew out your eardrums on that one. 75% in 2020, 2021, and 2022. 75%, man, every single season, where it did see a drop a little bit last year to 64.7% on the boom consistency. So he is still booming for you week in, week out. Still got to be a top 10 running back with the Tennessee Titans. Now you see the Baltimore Ravens with the better offensive line, improving offensive line, and then Lamar Jackson obviously will aid in being this RPO team once again. Team stats for the Ravens last year without a top-end running back. J.K. went down. Gus Edwards, Keaton Mitchell and company. 541 attempts. Even Lamar Jackson still running the football quite a bit. 2,600 yards, 4.9 the average, and 26 rushing touchdowns. You add a guy like King Henry to this rushing offense, and you're going to see magic happen. No kidding. It screams the fact that these Baltimore Ravens want to go back to that ground and pound, control the clock, play great defense, use the play-action pass, and utilize a thunder and lightning type of approach, with Lamar Jackson's running ability being the lightning, and then the thunder. I mean, the lightning. I am confusing my own stuff over here. And then, Derrick Henry's going to be the thunder. So it is going to be that 1-2 punch, and there is ample opportunity for him to find his way into the end zone. His best season, 23 points per game, y'all, back in 2021. Absolutely stellar. And then, 336.3 points back in 2020 when he went over the 2,000 yards. Obviously speaking, we know top 10 finishes, 8, 9, 4, and 9 respectively from 2023 all the way down to 2020. So 9 was his career for the top 10 finishes, but Derrick Henry still, the biggest issue we have is, he's creeped up to that age 30. We saw guys like Adrian Peterson play way after that. I think Derrick Henry fits in that mold of being one of these guys we can still see play for a number of years, even though the tread is extremely vast on his tires. I don't think his body's going to break down as much as people do believe. He's just built different, and he's able to absorb all that contact. And we'll see when it comes to his injury risk right now. I mean, we see he's dealt with some issues, and the biggest thing is those foot issues, the hammy issues. Nothing really overly, difficult to suggest, that he's going to get injured this year once again. Concussion last year, nothing really to sneeze at. Had a hammy back in 2019, calf strain in 2016, the fractured fibula in, 2013? So he's way far past that. And then 2021 was the pedal foot fracture. So did put him on injured reserve. So if I'm fearful of any injury for a Derrick Henry, it's got to be, potential concussions or a foot problem, hammy problem, soft tissue issue, basically being the reason why you're going to be like, well, he's aging. Is his body going to continue to hold up? He dishes the punishment, y'all. So Derrick Henry's going to be the guy that his body at least is built to sustain for a long period of time. So on the injury risk projection, I'm saying it's low. We don't have anything to really speculate and suggest that he is going to get injured this year. He's not a Band-Aid whatsoever, and I do believe that it's going to showcase that once again this season. And now with the Baltimore Ravens, who are a run-heavy team anyway, it's going to be that much better for a Derrick Henry. In terms of depth chart, we got a list. Or Lamar Jackson over, he's always taken rushing upside. He did drop some weight. He said he wanted to be faster. Maybe playing at the heavier weight, put him in the medical room. Hence why he said, I got to play at a weight that's a little bit more comfortable for me. And now that he understands that he doesn't have to be relied upon in the backfield with a guy like Derrick Henry that can just give him the ball. He can do all the ground punishment, and then Lamar can just take off as he so chooses in the pass game or whatever, schemed up RPOs. Justice Hill is in there as well. Keaton Mitchell, Rasheen Ali, this rookie, he is one definitely to watch as well. Very big running back. I'm a big Rasheen Ali supporter, and I think that him learning from somebody like a Derrick Henry is going to do absolute gorgeous things for his career. He is one of these guys. The Ravens are very good at finding this, late round diamond gems in the rough that you want to see, and Rasheen Ali definitely does fit the mold of a Baltimore Raven as well. So definitely, if y'all don't know his game, go and check it out. He's definitely one to keep your eye on. And then Owen Wright to round out the depth room in this running back depth chart. I mean, Lamar Jackson, he's always going to have his touches. We know this. 148 last year, 821 yards, 5 TDs. You got to believe it's going to be in the realm of 700 rushing yards to 900 rushing yards. He's going to get anywhere from 5 to 8 touchdowns in a season. Could they run the football that much more? Abso-freaking-lutely. Can Derrick Henry still take on 300 attempts? I do believe so. Will he be asked to do that here in Baltimore with Lamar running? I doubt it. He's probably going to flirt with you around the 275 to almost 300 range in terms of rushing upside. Justice Hill is the fill-in back. Keaton Mitchell coming off that ACL injury, gruesome ACL injury. If you guys can remember, I should say, it was just absolutely terrible. His knee and his leg bent all the way back. So we'll see what his recovery does look like. Rasheen Ali, like I said, the rookie who can be a mimic mirror of the ground and pound that they're going to do with a Derrick Henry. He's not Derrick Henry, but at least he does that physical rushing upside that you're looking for. Rasheen Ali definitely is one of these guys that I do like. And obviously out the door, they did lose some J.K. Dobbins, and Gus Edwards, and they surprisingly went to the same team. They went to those Los Angeles Chargers, so they're going to try to revamp that offense in L.A. with the Chargers and Coach Harbaugh. So I do like this offense quite a bit when it comes to the Baltimore Ravens. Having a Derrick Henry, I think it's all going to work out magnificently for this team. And, I don't want to go on record to say it, but I do believe this is one of the better shots that the Ravens do have at making the Super Bowl. If Derrick Henry can stay healthy, I think there is a great shot for them to go all the way because, Derrick Henry could take a lot. He carried those Titans teams for how many years? And much like we saw with a Ray Lewis, forget his name, Jamal Lewis, going back in the day where the Ravens won those Super Bowls with his rushing upside. It could be something like this. They're almost trying to recreate that, but we're talking ADP in terms of rankings. Derrick Henry currently resides as the running back 9, overall 24. He sits behind Kyron Williams and my guy Travis Etienne. And then he slotted in at running back 9 between an Isaiah Pacheco, Josh Jacobs at running back 10 and 11 respectively as well. So for me, I think the value is lower for a lot of people due to age. Due to the fact that Lamar Jackson does run the football, a lot of people are going to be like, well, are we going to get the top end value and volume that we're looking for from King Henry this season? I'm not scared off whatsoever. Even if the volume does go down, we saw how many times the Ravens do get in the red zone with this offense with guys like Gus the Bus, who himself got 13, 14 touchdowns last year rushing the football. They will get in the 5-yard line and Derrick Henry Henry could easily have 15 to 18 TDs this year. There is no question about that and how this offense does move. So if you're talking Kyron, okay, I understand. He lit up the league last year. He did go down with some injury. Etienne and this Jaguars team, yeah, they're moving in the right direction, but I mean, he saw some sidesteps last year. Pacheco with the Chiefs, is he ever going to be that full-on dominating fantasy guy that we're looking for? A lot of people think so. I'm just still like, yeah, I like Pacheco, but I'm not selling the farm. And then Josh Jacobs with the Packers, we'll definitely see how that goes. But I do like the fact, even at age 30, we got, I mean, is there going to be a drop-off? This is the question mark that everyone's asking themselves. Is there going to be a drop-off for Derrick Henry at age 30? It's possible. I mean, everything statistical-wise suggests that running backs fall off a cliff. But again, it's the anomaly. The guys like an Adrian Peterson, they just don't fall off. They're just built differently, just like a Derrick Henry. He's completely built like a cyborg, and I don't see the drop-off happening this year. Maybe 2-3 years down the road, we start to see a little bit less. But I think that, you know, even the way he plays football, he's going to be able to sustain how he does play. Full volume, lead role, I'm going to say no. And I don't think it's going to happen this year. I do believe it's going to be the 265, maybe to 290 range. But I do think that the touchdown efficiency upside will be here for him to be that guy. 15-plus TDs is definitely not out of the question in this offense, especially with the fact they had 26 TDs last year as an offense whole. Now you bring in an elite running back like a Henry who still's got a lot left in the tank, you want to believe. And are these Ravens going back to the run-heavy approach in this offense? I do think that it is going to happen as well. The fact that, you know, these Ravens over the years, 2023 had 541 attempts, 2022, 526, 2021, 517 attempts, and then 2020 was the top end upside of 555. So over the last 4 years of rushing attempts, the Baltimore Ravens average per season 534 over the last 4 years. So you got to understand that this team is not going away from what they do on the ground, and adding somebody like Henry is definitely going to bring it back up to saying, we're going to be that ground and pound club that everybody remembers us being. We're going to control the clock. We're going to institute a lot more play action pass, getting it to guys like Zay Flowers. Hopefully Bateman is there. I mean, Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews are going to be your dudes, and they're going to be leaned upon heavily in this offense. And when you got a guy like a Derrick Henry that people have to fear, you have to be able to put guys in the box. It's just going to open up room for Zay Flowers down the field as well. So I do think it is back to a run-heavy offense in this Baltimore Ravens club this year, more than probably what we've seen. So if you're talking 560 rush attempts as an offense, I can absolutely see that being and coming to fruition, barring any injuries to Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, no question. Limited wide receiver core, okay, I mean, let's be real. It is Zay Flowers, it is Rashad Bateman, Tez Walker, the rookie, I mean, Nelson Aguilar. This is prototypically of what we see of these Ravens offensively. They tried to get OBJ last year. They're trying to give him more weapons. Zay's a baller. There is no question. Mark Andrews still a stud in this league. But you got to say it's going to be, you know, in the pass game, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, and then everybody else hopefully can help out the cause and help Lamar Jackson down the field in the pass game. So this is another reason why I believe it is going to be that much more run heavy. Lamar drop pounds, like I said, run the football a little bit more. Defense still strong, so it's going to give the offense that many more opportunities. And like I'm saying, man, over 600 or 560 rush attempts, we could absolutely see that happen here for the Ravens this year. Projected statistics for King Henry this year through my model at this point. 16 games, I'm saying maybe he does miss a contest here. 290 attempts, 1225 in yards, and 13 TDs. This is just projected floor for me at this point. Yards may be where I think it's going to maybe reach. That might be the ceiling, but TDs I think is just the floor for him. We could see easily 15 to 18 rushing TDs in this offense. Receiving aspect in the game, I mean, I might be a little bit high on this. 21 for 145 and 1 touchdown. Don't really see it. He hasn't scored a touchdown in 4 years in the receiving game, so maybe this is the year he breaks out and gets his 1 TD. But he does like to throw the TDs, so maybe he has a throwing TD instead of the receiving TD. But I mean, for the rank overall, projected-wise in my model, a running back 6 to running back 7, finishing it off with 242 points potentially, and having a potential boom rate of 78.3 definitely puts him in that realm of high-end consistency. And the reason the jump for the boom rate, because he was basically a career 75 boom rate guy. I'm putting the rate going up a little bit due to the fact that the potential for TD upside here with this offense is definitely no joke. And I think that, we could see a lot of these booms come from how many times Derrick Henry does find his way into that end zone and then lifts up these Baltimore Ravens that much more. But I'm a big fan, like I'm saying, of a Derrick King Henry in this offense. Gonna make trouble for a lot of AFC teams. There is no question. Do not be afraid of the age at this point. Like I said, he's built different, like guys like Adrian Peterson was, and I think King Henry's got a lot left to prove in this Ravens offense, and they should run the football a hell of a lot here in 2024. So the value to get on return on investment, I think, is absolutely warranted, where he could be a running back, top 5 running back, finishing this year in fantasy football. So nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts. That is King Henry. And I'm telling y'all, throw it in the comments. You guys in or out? You're drafting him, you're not drafting him, you fading him? Throw it in the comments. We can definitely talk it out. But we'll see you next time. I am out.